Hi, welcome back to The Scent Advocate. Tonight we're talking about the road not taken with fragrances. These are fragrances that contain notes that are known, favorites for many, but there are conventional choices, even among niche and indie lovers. These are unconventional, representing the road not necessarily taken by most. Those of you who watch the channel regularly know that I like to surprise you with fragrances from my collection, and sometimes those that I'm just testing, that are outside the mainstream, things that maybe you haven't tried, but were thinking about trying, something you're curious about, but maybe needed a little more information on. That's what we're talking about today. The road not taken fragrance style. Okay. Tonight, I'm drinking my Genmaicha, I hope I'm saying that right, tea. So it's a green tea with toasted brown rice. I absolutely love it. I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and I had just run out, and I just got my replenishing supply in the mail, and now I'm happy again. So toasty, warm, and wonderful. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is. I highly encourage you to check it out if you haven't. You feel healthier drinking it. Don't you love that? Okay, let's jump right in. Rice. Who doesn't love rice? There's rice in my tea, right? Toasted rice. But I feel like there are the same rice fragrances that come up again and again and again. So I'm going to talk about two that are not the roads that everyone goes down. So let's start out with Versatile's Very Bad Rice. This is a newer fragrance to my collection, not completely new, but newer. So this is an Amber Bouchard fragrance. That's the nose behind it. This is an extrait. It is 30 ml. It goes for $88, and it is a 2026 release. The notes in this are milk, rice, mango, sugar, coconut, solar notes, and ube. Oh, goodness. I love this one. I love rice fragrances, but this one in particular is especially enticing. It's comforting. It's got that mango, but it's not too sweet. It's not trite either. It's a very restrained mango note. It's enveloping like a security blanket, like a mother's hug. It's very comforting. It's got a like a bready type note, that carb feeling, but with a hint of fruit. If you've ever had Indonesian sticky rice with mango, it's like that. I think they make it with a little bit of cream, and it could be coconut cream that's not sweetened and is very, very subtle. It might be a bit refined. And then the mango on top, and it's very ripe mango, but so good. And it just takes that sticky glutinous rice and raises it to the level of a dessert. It's rice with just a little bit of that mango, and it is exquisite. It tops off the evening perfectly. So beautiful, warm, comforting, sweet, and elegant at the same time. The kind of dessert that doesn't make you feel bad. It almost feels healthy. You gotta love that, right? So that is Very Bad Rice. Turns out it's very good stuff by Versatile. There we go. Moving on, I've got Poudré de Riz by Pierre Guillaume. Another rice favorite, but unconventional. I almost never hear this one spoken about, and I don't know why. This is a 2012 release, so not nearly as new as Very Bad Rice. I don't know why I don't hear this discussed. It's curious. So this is a 50 ml. It goes for about $125, and it is an EDP. The notes in this are rose, tiare, which is kind of a coconut gardenia mix type scent, vanilla, rice powder, sandalwood, iris, cedar, tonka bean, tolu balsam, and benzoin. This is so pretty. It is very powdery, cosmetic, and, you know, cosmetic-like makeup, but not a full-on lipstick. It's got a sweet, and I don't mean sweet like sugary sweet. It's sweet as in precious, vintage, simple powder fragrance to it. Not over perfumed, not overdone. The powder is very loose, like a rice powder, as opposed to a talcum powder, which is more chalky. The tonka and benzoin and vanilla give it that sweetness, but it's not a sweet fragrance. It's dry. Very feminine leaning, very what's the word I'm looking for? There's someone who isn't necessarily cultured trying to look the part. Maybe a special occasion for someone who doesn't have special occasions very often. It makes me, so it was inspired by a book, but what this makes me think of is, I believe it's called The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant, and that's what it makes me think about. If you've ever read it, it's a short story, and I apologize for butchering the name, but it's one of my favorites. It's about a woman who has a wealthy friend, and she is going out for a special occasion, and she doesn't have jewelry to wear. And I'm way oversimplifying it, but she doesn't have jewelry to wear, so she, from her wealthy friend, borrows a pearl necklace. And the necklace, I believe it was pearls. I haven't read this in many, many years. She loses the necklace, and she is bound to return it to her friend after the special occasion. And since she lost it, she feels terrible, and she practically kills herself working as a servant of some kind, as I recall, to replace the necklace. And it's very, very expensive. And finally, she earns enough money to replace it, and she gives it back to her friend. And everything's okay. But it nearly just kills her to earn this money, and it takes everything she's got. Years later, it comes to be known that the necklace she borrowed was a fake. She didn't know it was a fake. And so all of this to replace with real pearls, what turned out to have been a fake after all. And if I get that wrong, apologies. I'll check and I'll correct myself in the description and the notes if I've gotten it wrong. But that's what this makes me think of. That kind of innocence, that sense of occasion, that, you know, it's a rare experience to have that sense of occasion. And it's special. It's a special powder note, and it's Poudré de Riz by Pierre Guillaume. Next, we've got a Diptyque I never ever hear discussed, and I don't know why. It's 34 Boulevard Saint-Germain, and this is it right here. It's got a different look, right? There we go. Is that right? How about that? There we go. So this is from Olivier Pichot, the nose behind this. This is 100 ml. It goes for about $230. It's a 2011 release, and it is an EDT. I love the top on this. Very, very different from other Diptyque bottles that I've experienced. So the notes in this are clove, cinnamon, blackcurrant. There's a lot. Fig leaf, pink pepper, iris, rose, eucalyptus. a lot going on here. This is, I believe, an homage to Diptyque's first or flagship boutique. That's the address, 34 Saint-Germain. This is a chypre, very clean, very chic, very formal. It's very unisex. That eucalyptus is interestingly used here. And why I chose this, you know, as a road not taken fragrance is I have other fragrances in my collection that are meant to pay tribute to a store, a boutique, a flagship one at that. And they're always very floral, very much, I think, designed to make someone want to stay and buy. This fragrance means business. This is different. This isn't one that I would say is commercially typical, whereas the others I've experienced tend to be. This one takes some risk. This one, if you don't like it, maybe you don't want to be in the boutique, but they don't care because they like it. And this is how it smells in there. And if you want to be in there and experience the atmosphere, buy in that store, you will experience this fragrance. It has its own style. It is unapologetic in its audacity, and it is audacious. This is not for everyone, and definitely not what I would call a safe blind buy. And among boutique fragrances, this one's a standout, and I absolutely love it. I respect it, and I don't hear it talked about nearly enough. It is 34 Boulevard, Saint-Germain by Diptyque. Here we go. Moving on, we've got, let's see, let's do, oh goodness, let's do an herbal aromatic. One that has survived the test of time. There are so many beautiful herbals, aromatics, many of which are very, lavender forward, or, have more of the conventional notes. This one is different. I did go down a vintage rabbit hole for this, and I found a vintage bottle of Aromatics Elixir by Clinique. So this is a chypre floral. This is by Bernard Champ. This is 100 ml. I paid $125 for it. It is a 1971 vintage version, and it is a Parfum. This version is, it's got a beautiful bottle with the etched glass. Now, I don't know that this is from 1971. What I know is the formulation is the same. This is a vintage formulation. It contains oak moss and tree moss, listed as ingredients both. And that was the standard against which I judged all of the bottles I was contemplating purchasing. So the notes in this, chamomile, aldehydes, clary sage, coriander, geranium, lemon verbena, rosewood, bergamot, carnation, rose, ylang ylang, orris, jasmine, tuberose, orange blossom, oak moss, patchouli, incense, vetiver, sandalwood, and tree moss. This is, it's so beautiful. It is a classic. The what I believe is a reformulation. The later releases with a different formulation smell more hollow, less punchy, less vivid. This is the one I remember from my childhood. Now, I think the formulation of these fragrances over the years changes as a result of, self-regulating organizations impacting the fragrance community, the fragrance vertical, but not always. So I can't say with certainty this was reformulated. I believe this smells different to me than more recent releases of the exact same fragrance. The oak moss, the tree moss, just stunning in here. I looked very, very hard for this formulation. It was not easy to find, but it can be done. And I absolutely adored it. It takes me right back. The aldehydes are beautiful. It's very spa-like, very therapeutic smelling, and yet pleasing. This is something that, when worn, people will stop you and say, what are you wearing? And it's not necessarily because they think it's the most beautiful thing they've ever smelled. It is curiosity inducing. And I find that a lot of floral chypres or aromatic fragrances today of the chypre style lack those qualities. And when that's the case, I say go vintage. Be careful. Be very careful. But I had a wonderful experience with the seller I hooked up with for this fragrance. I couldn't be happier. This formulation, as I understand it, is impossible to find retail because of the oak moss and tree moss. However, this formulation is still created in other countries, and I believe that is the best way. They have shoppers out there who go to different countries where these formulations, these older formulations, are still being sold. They buy them and sell them in the States, I think. I don't know for sure. Technically, I bought this on the secondary market, it's perfectly intact, beautiful shape, but that older 1971 formulation, according to my research. Let me know if you've tried this. This was a suggestion from a subscriber. You know who you are. As I've said in other videos, I don't call people out by name unless they give me permission to do so, and you didn't, but you know who you are. You told me what to look for. I took your advice, and you were right. I'm in love. This is the best. Thank you. Aromatics Elixir by Clinique. Another vintage gorgeous selection I got on the secondary market is Lumière by Rochas. I stumbled on this one quite by accident. I really didn't know anything much about this fragrance. I tested it, and I have a decant of it because this is let me just show you. This is a splash, as many of these vintage fragrances can be, so I decant them. If they are splashed this way, I don't ruin the integrity of the liquid. So this is a Nicholas Mamunas is the nose behind this. This is a $65, if you can believe it, 1984 version of Rochas Lumière. This is 100 ml and it's an EDT. This is musk, vetiver, cedar, aldehydes, violet, orange blossom, green leaves, fruit, bergamot, narcissus, hyacinth, etc. Oak moss, of course, sandalwood, rose, jasmine. This is vintage for sure. There's no mistaking it. It's a bit animalic, maybe a hint, just a hint of civet going on in there. Not for the faint of heart. You have to appreciate the integrity of this style of fragrance. It is not mainstream today. This is, you know, Julia Sugarbaker would have worn this from Designing Women. If you know, you know. The big shoulder broads. An idol of mine growing up. I absolutely adored her and how she used to go around telling everyone off. And I always knew I wanted to be a lawyer, but I also knew I wanted to be a sassy lady like that as a lawyer. And I'm not sure how I measured up. I think my husband would tell you I achieved my objective, but gorgeous stuff. This is an absolute gem. It's, you know, a floral, like I said, a floral sheep, very, very big, bold, regardless of it being an EDT. Fantastic. You know, if you want a big, bold, sheep-like fragrance, you can find them in the Salomés of the world, but this is different. I love Salomé. I have it in my collection. I have Femme Rochas in my collection, but this is different. It's down that road or until you reach a fork and then you take a left, right? That's what this is. So let me know if you ever tried Lumière by Rochas. It's fantastic. All right, moving on, we've got, let's see. So many to choose from here that I selected. Let's do something warm and toasty. Sahar by Prissana. Sorry, Parfum Prissana. There we go. The nose behind this is, of course, Pren L'Amrose. I am a huge fan of all things Pren L'Amrose. This is a 30 ml extrait. It's a 2023 release, and this goes for about $180. I've seen conflicting information about whether it's discontinued, but my most recent look indicated you can still get it. So this is dark, heavy. It is amber, olibanum, myrrh, cumin seed, cinnamon, rose absolute, mint, atlas cedar, and dates. The notes alone tell you how thick and luscious and syrupy, enveloping, comforting, warm, sexy this is. It's Moroccan Sahara, you know, golden dawn, dunes, nomads, secrets on the wind. Figures moving slowly in the distance, like the sand, like a dream. It's the earth meets the human. It's like a dance of life in its simple, austere perfection. That is Sahar. I mean, this is exquisite. And we hear a lot about people wanting, you know, a warm kind of ambery myrrh, and there are a lot out there, but I don't hear this one talked about. This one has something else, and I think it's that cumin and the cinnamon, just that tremendous warmth and that very slight hint of human, of the reality that these notes bring, you know, kind of offset by that very faint mint. It just brings a whole other experience to the, you know, desert spicy myrrh thing. And that's what intrigues me about Sahar. by Parfum Prissana. Next, let's talk about a beautiful gourmand. There are so many lovely gourmands out there. Gourmand had an outrageously big moment a few years back. I loved it. I was into it. And I'm not a chocolate freak, but this one was undeniably for me. I loved it. This was a blind buy, just based on the notes at the time, gourmand being huge. I just had to have it. And it is Elixir Charnel by Guerlain. And this is an older bottle. I got this quite a while ago, and you could see that I love it, which is why it's a little less than half full. So this is an EDP. It's a 75 ml. It's a 2008 release, and a half bottle of this formulation goes for about $500 according to my most recent research. So this is Christine Nagel and Sylvanie Delacourt as the noses behind this. This is dark chocolate, cacao, rum, vanilla, spices, rose, and pepper. So this is a boozy chocolate. Oh gosh, you guys, this is special, but very sophisticated. A formal event, unconventional style, you know, and class. This is the fun side of the most sophisticated person in the room. And you just cannot help but fall in love. You want to be around this. You want to drown in it. It's that good. Is it sweet? It's about as sweet as dark chocolate and cocoa powder, Dutch processed cocoa powder. Yeah. So no, it's not sweet, but it's there. It's dessert. It's there. This isn't cocoa powder offset in like a mole sauce, you know, offset with pepper. This is exquisite. Now, it's got pepper in it, but it's not like a cayenne pepper, okay? Oh, this is heavenly. I don't know what the more recent formulations are like, but what I do know is when I hear chocolate disgust, it's not this one. And this is probably the best chocolate I have. I have others that I enjoy. Not too many, but I've got a few. I love them all. They're different. But this one knocks it out of the park. And if I had to pick just one, this would be it. Elixir Charnel by Guerlain. All right, let's do a tonka. Who doesn't love tonka? Hear about tonka all the time, right? It's everywhere. It's fantastic. It's vanillic. It's sweet. It adds depth, body, you know, likability, commercial appeal. And so it's in a lot of different fragrances, many of which I enjoy. But this one I don't hear too much about, and I can't figure out why. This is Tonka Extraordinaire by EPC. So this is a 2022 release. It's an EDP. It's a 50 ml and it goes for about $190. The bottle's pretty cool too, right? A little unconventional. This is almond, myrrh, vanilla, frankincense, labdanum, and patchouli. A very different tonka expression in my estimation, at least based on the experiences I've had. So it's warm. It's warm, thick, heavy. That frankincense and labdanum, whoa, and the myrrh, like a warm blanket in church. It is fantastic. It's the way, you know, I wrote in my notes, the way your feet feel when they're cold, but they're starting to warm up. My husband is always hot, and not just because he's gorgeous, but he's always like temperature hot. And I'm always cold because I have low blood pressure. And my feet are always cold. So I have an electric blanket. I know it's probably not safe, but he's a former firefighter, so it's okay. And when my feet are freezing cold and they're under that electric blanket, the moment I feel like they're getting warm, or same with my hands, if they're cold, the same thing, but especially with my feet. that feeling, that release, that loosening up of everything just from kind of riding the temperature and feeling that wave of relaxation. That's what I get from this, that satisfaction, perfect balance and comfort in church. Oh yes, this is an incense big time. The hazelnut and sesame give it a richness, and the tonka is the cherry on top of the whole thing. At the same time, very much a backbone, right? It's there as tonka it can be as an anchor, but it's got a prominent feature throughout the stages of this fragrance. Gorgeous stuff. And just a little bit spicy from that patchouli, and I just don't know why everyone isn't talking about Tonka Extraordinaire, but they should be, because this is great stuff by EPC. Next, okay, I think we'll talk about another myrrh forward fragrance with incense, moving away from, the Tonka focus to more of the incense focus. This is Eleonore by Rance. Beautiful classic French perfume house. This is Maurizio Chiriza is the nose. It's 100 ml. It's an EDP, and it goes for $45 for this, and it's a 2016 release. Oh boy, this is so good. So good. So this is Myrrh Peach Hediadone. Sicilian lemon, not just any lemon, Sicilian lemon. Sicilian like me, okay. Tahitian vanilla, saffron patchouli amber, sandalwood incense tonka bean, and musk. Incense meets patchouli meets fruit. Ugh. And the fruit is that peach. The lemon is there, but it's you know how bergamot has that strength, that seriousness? This lemon is less serious, but it's not a candied lemon or anything like that. And it's not super astringent. It's almost like a citron that's not too sweet, like you might find in a panettone, but not super sweet. You know how sometimes there's citron that's like sugared, and then there's the kind that's just gelled and it isn't really sweet. It's just got that like a real concentrated lemon. That's what's going on in this, but it's not all that prominent. It's there. You can sense it, but not very sweet. And it all comes together in this heavenly song of incense meets fruit meets patchouli. Beautiful, beautiful fragrance. And when we talk about peach, lemon, incense, patchouli, I never hear this mentioned. And I'm thinking, why the heck not? Try this. This is insanely beautiful. The longevity is fantastic. The projection is perfect. Not too much, not too little. It's beautiful. It's the road less traveled, the road not taken. When it comes to these notes, yeah, check it out. Eleonore by Rance. Next, we've got a little more of the kind of resinous, smoky thing going on, but we're going to go in a very different direction with this one. I talked about it once, but I haven't heard anything about it, and I am going to sing its praises tonight. It's Aruk by Anatoly Le Breton. Tested this right away, fell in love. I love the bottle. It's very Iron Age looking, and this is the world's first true metropolis, right? We're talking about, Iraq, Mesopotamia, Gilgamesh, the whole thing, the whole epic thing is going on in this, and it smells the part. Let me tell you, this is a 2024 release. It's 30 ml. It goes for $130, and it is an X straight. So this is labdanum, nutmeg, frankincense, benzoin, and orange. There's an animalic leather in this, and it marries really well with that frankincense, which in this case has an edge of funk. So the two come together really well. It's not a full-on animalic, but there's something about this that speaks ancient civilization with all of its beauty and all of its raw imperfections, maybe. A little bit of, you know, little hint of barnyard there, you know, but not in a bad way, right? I love it. Like, I love this stuff. Definitely leans masculine. It's bold. And there's a hint of metallic something going on in there. Maybe it's just my idea, because it's, you know, it's got that kind of, I don't know. I don't know if it was the Iron Age, but it feels like the Iron Age to me. Let me know in the comments if, you know, Mesopotamia was Iron Age. I think it was. It may be too soon to be Iron Age, right? This is 4,000 to 3,000 BC. I'm not sure. I'm not a historian. I'm just a lawyer. So the notes are wonderful all, but I'm getting a little extra in the way of that, you know, kind of lived in feel, you know, ancient civilization, but lived in type of thing. There's also smoke. It's not destructive smoke. It's like smoke that, you know, signifies that people have been around, there's civilization, there's stuff going on, there's cooking, there's smelting, right? Especially if we're in the Iron Age. Would be difficult to smelt if you weren't, but as smelting goes, you know, maybe this is what's, I've never smelled a smelt. A smelt is a fish. That's not what I mean. I've never experienced the aroma of smelting whereby metal was melted. That's what I mean. So you definitely, this is a complex fragrance, okay? Did I just talk about smelts? Uruk by Anatoly Le Breton. Nobody talks about this. I shouldn't talk about it because I just screwed that up wildly. I may edit that out. If I have any pride at all, I will edit that out. Okay, so moving on. Let's talk about, all right, this one I'm not too sure about. This one I got, and it was the reason why I shouldn't do a blind buy. Because this sounded so perfect, so, damn it, so wonderful, and so up my alley. I absolutely had to have it. I found it for a very good price, and I pulled the trigger. So, I'm not upset, but I'm still learning to love it. Like right now, it's fantastic. If I get too close to this, I'm like, wait a minute. What the actual frig was I thinking? Okay, so this is Parole d'Eau by Serge Lutens. What is the deal with Serge Lutens and Shiseido? So when I look on the bottom of this, it's Shiseido, which I love. I'm a total Shiseido freak, especially the vintage stuff. But, okay, so let me tell you about this real quick. This is 100 ml. It's an EDP. It's a 2022 release, and it cost $81. This is eucalyptus, pine needle, citrus, and musk. I know what you're thinking. I should have known it was going to be resinous and camphoric. Like, way balsam, and, yeah. All right. Every time I smell this thing, it smells different. And I think what happened is I'm doing those first sprays, and with each new spray, it gets better and better because I let it sit. So, and you all have told me that, you know, when you get a new bottle, spray it a couple times, put it down and leave it alone. My problem was I didn't spray it a few times. I think I sprayed it once when I first got it, and I'm like really like not loving it. Now I feel like I do. Okay, so it's lemon, black pepper, camphor, freshness. There's a coolness. It's high altitude. This is giving me such a beautiful pine needle now. When I was smelling this earlier, you guys, no joke, I was like, I can't talk about this. I don't like it. And here I am, 40 minutes later, and I'm loving it. It was way camphor and medicinal to me when I sprayed it, seriously, like an hour ago when I was preparing for the video. And I was just, now it's gorgeous. Now I absolutely love it. Okay, so a beautiful pine, and you know how pine can have kind of a citrusy opening, a beautiful citrus forward pine with fresh eucalyptus. It's not the old school 80s dried eucalyptus wreath eucalyptus. It's a fresh eucalyptus. And the musk is there to kind of anchor it and make it more wearable. So it's not like overly herbaceous. Really, really like it. Very fresh. This now feels like it would be gorgeous as an easy reach, you know, to kind of energize you throughout the day. Very spa-like, that type of energy, positive, uplifting, energizing, gorgeous stuff. Serge Lutens changed my mind right in front of you all. Pearl dough. All right. Next, the last two, I'll do Emerald Curry by Parfum Prissana again. I love this one. This is so different. Oh, and I forgot to, I can't believe I was so blown away by the experience I just had with this. I forgot to say. So the reason it's a road not taken is because it is camphoric, and a camphoric type experience with pine and citrus, and I hadn't experienced anything quite like that before. It was very medicinal, and it was a road not taken, but definitely a road I wasn't sure I wanted to take. But now I have changed my mind right here in front of you all, and it's getting more and more herbal the more I smell it. It's fantastic. It's still unconventional. I hadn't even heard of this before I was doing research for new and interesting fragrances, came across it. Now I'm glad I got it. Wow, what a surprise. Serge Lutens Pearl Dough. All right, back to Emerald Curry by Parfum Prissana. Again, Prin Lam Rose. This is a 30 ml extrait. It's a 2026 release. It goes for about $180. This has kaffir, lime leaves, holy basil, coconut, green chili, lemongrass, cumin, coriander, galangal, and incense. So why is this the road not taken? Because I haven't smelled anything like this. Like, this is unusual, as many Prin Lam Rose fragrances are. You know how a Bloody Mary or a margarita done just right is almost savory? That's what's going on here. It's not exactly savory, but it's coming close. This is so green and so intense. The smoke is a green, it's the burning of something still alive, like not a living creature so much as a plant, right? So among the things that can be burned, this would be green leaves and branches as opposed to dead leaves and branches, okay? And that smoke that comes from it It's an invigorating smoke. The coconut is a young coconut and just offsets the sharpness of the lime leaves and the lemongrass. That zing is tempered. The coriander is very nice, but it's not over dried. So it's coming close. So where coriander starts to move in the direction of cilantro, but it's not cilantro yet. I don't like cilantro. But this is not a dried coriander. This not very dried. It's going in that direction, but it's maybe germinating. The incense comes out later. The green chilies are not going to be cough-inducing. It's not like that. They're just aromatic. This is stunning. This is what, it's someone who's wearing this, you just want to lick it off them. I mean, it's that good. It's stunning. It's emerald curry. And I've smelled nothing like it, which is why I had to have it. I absolutely love it. This is a guilty pleasure I wear for me and only me. And it's fantastic. All right, last selection for the evening. We talk about vegetal fragrances from time to time, and it's always carrot. It's always carrot seed, and I love them. I was not brave enough to talk about a certain potato fragrance that I am still testing because it goes in the direction of a potato salad, and I can't make out whether the potato salad has mayonnaise in it. And if there's anything I hate more than cilantro, it's mayonnaise. So I'm still trying to figure out the potato fragrance. I'll talk about that one another time. But vegetal fragrances, I gotcha. And here it is. Musk Amarante by L'Artisan Parfumeur. Oh yeah, this is Quentin Biche. This is a 2022 release. It is 100 ml. It's an EDP and it goes for $265. I had to move a mountain to get this. It's exquisite. Why? Because it's not just any vegetal fragrance. No, this is beetroot done right. Let me tell you, and I've had another beetroot in my fragrance collection, but this one, the other one is fantastic too. This one is unique. So it's beet, musk, bergamot. Oh my gosh. There's a metallic feel to this. The iron that you taste when you eat a beet, right in here, it's fantastic. It's, again, invigorating, enlivening. It strengthens you. It's like what you imagine a vampire would feel, sucking up that blood, only vegan. That's what you get from this, that sensation. So it's the sweetness of earth. It's gorgeous. Very strong, beautiful. At the same time, it's like, it makes you strong just smelling it. Wearing it is just a gorgeous experience. I absolutely love it. And I haven't smelled anything quite like it. This is Musk Amarante from L'Artisan Parfumeur. Have you tried it? Okay, I went a little long tonight, but hey, I just had to do this. Road Not Taken. It was a suggestion from my wonderful mother. She's so creative and beautiful, and she inspires me every single day. And she told me that I should entertain you all at the end of the video with a poem. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent to the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. I love this. And both that morning equally lay. In leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I marked the first for another day. yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Robert Frost. If you are not yet a subscriber to the channel, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you subscribe to the channel and be a regular commenter and participant in our discussions. If you like, talk about niche, indie, and luxury designer fragrances. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.